You know that feeling like you're just drowning in paperwork trying to keep your nonprofit going? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a really crucial but honestly often misunderstood topic: what a specialized compliance firm actually does.
So, this explainer is part of the multi state fundraising compliance series. The whole idea is to give you practical, clear knowledge to help you navigate all the complexities of charitable registration. And we really want to thank the specialists over at Ironwood Registrations for making this entire series possible. All right, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start by looking beyond just filing forms. Then, we'll dive into managing all that multi state complexity. We'll also get into what happens with growth and new partnerships, compare a specialist to a generalist. And finally, we'll reframe how you think about compliance, seeing it as core operational infrastructure. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first. Let's challenge the way we usually think about what compliance work really is. So let me ask you, is nonprofit compliance really just about paperwork? I think a lot of us see it that way, right? It's this annual headache, a huge mountain of forms you've just got to get through. But honestly, that's like looking at an iceberg and only seeing the little bit that's sticking out of the water. The real story is so much deeper, and the stuff you can't see, well, that's what can get you into trouble. And look, of course, the basics are part of it. You've got your initial registrations, the yearly renewals, submitting financial statements, and paying all the fees. These are the things you can see, the tangible tasks you can check off a list. But this is just scratching the surface, especially once your fundraising efforts start crossing state lines. And that is where things get really interesting. The moment you're fundraising in multiple states, that simple compliance puzzle gets exponentially more complex. So let's take a closer look at the core functions of a specialist firm. Think of a compliance specialist as an air traffic controller for all your deadlines. Seriously. Every state has its own unique flight path, with different rules and different timelines. A specialist's whole job is to make sure all your filings land safely and on time, so you can avoid any costly collisions with late fees or public delinquency notices. They coordinate everything, from extensions to aligning with your federal Form 990, so you can focus on your mission, not the chaos of compliance. And it's not just about deadlines, it's about the dollars, too. As your nonprofit grows, the financial reporting requirements grow right along with it. A compliance firm acts as your financial watchdog, monitoring your revenue growth and making sure you're ready for new requirements, like a formal financial review or even a full audit. They'll work directly with your CPA to ensure you have all your ducks in a row, so there are no nasty surprises from the regulators. And what about all that mail from state regulators? You know, the deficiency notices, requests for clarification, approvals. It can be totally overwhelming. A specialist firm acts as your central command post. They manage all this correspondence, make sure nothing gets missed, and confirm every single issue is resolved in writing. So, we've covered the basics, but what happens when your fundraising strategy evolves? What happens when you start exploring new and exciting ways to raise money? Well, that's when the compliance game gets a whole lot more complex and a specialist expertise becomes absolutely critical. Thinking about launching a cause marketing campaign with a big corporate partner? It sounds exciting, right? But hold on a second. Did you know that could trigger a whole new set of compliance requirements? The same goes for hiring a professional fundraiser. These seemingly straightforward activities can open up a Pandora's box of state-specific regulations that can be a nightmare to navigate on your own. And this is where the magic really happens. This is where compliance transforms from a reactive box-ticking exercise into a proactive, strategic advantage. A specialist firm helps you look around the corner to anticipate the compliance challenges that lie ahead. They'll help you ask the right questions before you make a move, so you can expand your fundraising efforts with confidence, knowing that your compliance house is in order. So, you might be thinking, can't my lawyer or accountant just handle this? It's a fair question. Let's break down the critical difference between a general advisor and a true compliance specialist. Think of it this way. Your family doctor is great for a checkup, but you wouldn't want them performing open-heart surgery. It's the same idea with compliance. A general advisor can provide valuable, broad-based advice, but a compliance specialist, they're the surgeon who knows the intricate details of every single state's regulations. They're the ones who can navigate the complexities of multi-state fundraising with precision and expertise. It's also super important to be clear about what they don't do. A compliance firm isn't going to manage your programs, write your grants, or prepare your federal taxes. Their focus is razor-sharp, state-level regulatory registration,
And knowing these boundaries is really key to a good partnership. So, we've talked about what compliance specialists do and what they don't do, but now I want to challenge you to think about compliance in a completely new way. It's not just a task to be completed, it's a fundamental part of your organization's infrastructure. This slide really captures how compliance evolves. When you're just starting out, it might feel like a simple one-off task. But as your organization grows and your fundraising expands, it becomes a much more complex juggling act. And eventually, if you want to sustain that growth, compliance needs to become a core part of your operational infrastructure. So, what does that actually mean? What does it look like to have compliance as operational infrastructure? It means having a well-oiled machine working behind the scenes, managing deadlines, coordinating with regulators, and keeping all your documentation in order. It's the invisible framework that allows your fundraising engine to run smoothly and efficiently, so you can focus on what you do best, changing the world. And this quote just says it all. The legal landscape for charitable fundraising is a minefield. It's fragmented, it's procedural, and the rules are constantly changing. That's exactly why you need a guide, a specialist who knows the terrain and can help you navigate it safely and effectively.
So what's the bottom line? It's this. When you treat compliance as a strategic asset, as a core part of your infrastructure, you're not just protecting yourself from fines and penalties. You are building a foundation for sustainable, long-term growth. You're empowering your organization to achieve its mission, today and for years to come.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Is your current compliance strategy just a checklist of tasks, or is it the rock-solid foundation you need to build a brighter future for your organization? The choice is yours.